Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hello,
Chris.
everyone.
How are
Hi,
you?
Krista.
It's Christopher Power here, Darryl Reeves. Today we've got a really specific webinar. We want to talk about human design for innovators and entrepreneurs. It's a program that Darryl and I created to take human design to a completely new level of expression, study, teaching, you name it.
Practicality.
Practicality, that's the perfect word, that's the name.
That's my motivation.
Yeah, so see, it's for a long time I was talking to people who'd been involved with RA over a long period of time, and they'd been involved with human design for up to 20 years. And we'd been sharing that we felt that human design had now been taught in a very sort of specific way, mainly to students, like it was a school. And there weren't any programs out there that really focused on integrating your real life experience.
I think a hands-on approach is,
approach.
We're all about.
Yep.
Really, we're taking the knowledge and the information and all the inspiration that Ra brought, and the motivation that came with his information, but we're really putting it into practical terms for people, aren't we? And answering real practical life questions, how it applies every day in my life.
Right. And also integrating it with your experience. We've actually designed the program to be done over a significant period of time, so that your experience of living your life is an integral part of the program, not just something you do as well as study the course or get involved with the information. See, this webinar, or when we promoted it, we asked the question, are you a wolf or are you a sheep? And that was based on a statement Ra made, which is, human design is for wolves, it's not for sheep. And that statement was made really to point out that human design is not just another great new age technique or a new business trick or something that'll really help you, solve this or get a personality understanding of who you are. Not only will it just help you with living your life better, it's not about tuning into the new emerging consciousness as such. It's not one of the many programs that are out there. My experience of living my human design over 8 years now, and having had 30 years before that of incredibly in-depth study of human potential, spirituality, metaphysics, and everything, my experience of human design is that it is a fundamental change in the way you live your life. And no one's really put that out there since Ra passed on. I mean, he did it in his own way, but I like to present it in a very clear, very in-your-face way. Human design is not one of these new-fangled programs or techniques or new things. It is a fundamental, when you embrace human design, it is a fundamental change in the way you live your life. It happens over time, just like when you get married, your life changes. When you have a child, your life changes profoundly. Over time, your life takes a whole new direction and moves in different ways. And you live differently. Well, human design is the same. It's a fundamental change for the third time now in the way you live your life. Yes, you can study it. Yes, it can be very fascinating and intriguing. It can be highly entertaining. It can give you insight as to who you are as a person. It can give you incredible insight to other people. It can do all these things, but if you just study human design for the information, or to entertain yourself, or to just understand things on a mental level, you will miss what it really has to offer you. And that is, it will fundamentally change your life for the better and bring out doesn't matter whether your life is not good at the moment or whether you have a fantastic life and you've been involved in the change in the world now for decades and you're soaring, or your business is incredible, it will take it to a whole new level as well.
What's happening with this course already, that we're experiencing from the people is that, yes, they're getting the information. They may have started out with the idea of learning about human design and gathering information to fill their library of information along with all the other great ideas, The Secret and, Think and Grow Rich and all these, time enduring ideas and philosophies and teachings, etc. But they've moved beyond the information into the space where they are starting to get revelation, which is where that is a transforming experience. It's the information becoming part of their lives. So they're actually feeling and engaging with the information in a way that's practical and impacting their lives every day, every minute of every day sometimes. And that's what's happening, isn't it, in the lives of people that are doing the course now. So we're not just preaching to you about what the course might do for you, which of course we are doing, but we're not just doing that, because people are experiencing this course. And I think that's a real key point.
Well, look at your experience.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Darryl knew nothing about human design just over a year ago or so when we first met.
Exactly, yeah. Hadn't even heard the term 18 months ago. And then I met Christopher maybe 15 months or so ago, heard the term, and have started my own journey with it. And it's a part of my life. It's not just a tool that I refer to, although I do refer to the knowledge and realize this, I wonder what human design says about that, or what I could learn from human design in this particular case with my interacting with this type of person and this type of behavior. Or I look at my own behavior and think, I wonder how that shows up in my human design map. But at the end of the day, the information, when it translates into inspiration for me and I can take hold of it and actually see how it's functioning in my life, it's like understanding my body better. And when I understand my body better, I cooperate with what is, rather than striving against, the energies and the forces of life that are just there for my benefit. I'm starting to flow with what's natural for me, and feel relaxed in that a lot more. And it's really, really been a tremendous experience, and still is. I'm sure it will be until the day I die, a tremendous experience, and something that is a growing understanding. Certainly there's understanding involved, certainly there's knowledge involved, but at the end of the day, if I can't use it as part of and realize it's part of my life, like dexterity is part of my life. Currently I don't have arthritis in my fingers, so I've got dexterity. It's not a tool, it's me, it's my life. It's fantastic. And I think human design gives me dexterity in so many aspects of living day to day.
Well, look, there is no course or program out there, including this, that will teach you human design properly. Right?
Because how do I be a human?
It's one of the things that I like to say is that it's living your, underline the word your, living your unique human design that teaches you human design better than any course can possibly teach you.
I think that's one of the reasons why we've taken our time with this, isn't it? We've made it a 6-month kind of course, because people need to experience it line upon line upon line, little by little by little, and integrate it, rather than just be able to pass a test.
Exactly. Look, it's like pregnancy. You can't rush it.
Yes.
Oh yes, I've got all this new age knowledge, can't I speed it up? I mean, where are you trying to get to? It's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, human design is something that you live and experience. And the experience teaches you about human design, and especially about your human design, in ways that no course could possibly put their finger on. The revelations I've had with this have been so personal and so deep and so practical and so real that the very realizations I've had have inspired me to go further. It's just, you know, I could go on, and I won't, about just all the very simple little experiences and the really profound experiences I've had in the development of my life, my career, even doing this work, my relationships and everything that no course could ever put their finger on, but life itself really brought to my attention. And so the way we constructed this program was to support that. You know, we're here to be a framework for your experience. And when I say your experience, I mean your very unique experience, because that's what human design brings out. Now, what makes human design stand out are two things. When I say human design is a fundamental change in the way you live your life, where does that change happen? Well, it happens in two extremely practical areas. It happens in terms of where you make decisions. Now, why is decision making so important? Decision making is linked very powerfully with choice. Now, I know some of you may have heard that some people in human design say there is no choice. Well, I disagree. And I also understand why they're saying it and why Ra pointed it out. But we can discuss that at another time. When you make a choice, you develop that mentally in your mind, and you look at all the possible options, all the various things you can imagine, all the things that your research and investigation have brought to you, and you go, you know, that's the one I would like to make. Where decisions are linked with choices is when you decide, you actually make that choice something that you are going to manifest. You're going to bring it into this physical world.
Become part of it.
I've decided to make this choice real in my life. Okay. Now, decision making is really, really important, because that's the point of deciding to manifest something, to make something actually happen in your life. And when you make a really good decision, two questions are answered that are absolutely crucial to the success of what you're going to do. One, do I have the energy for this right now? Do I have the energy for this? Which is crucial, because if you don't have the energy, you don't have the resources, you don't have the staff, whatever it is, it's going to be extremely difficult.
It's like starting to build a house with only half the materials.
Yeah. Do I have the materials yet? Or do I have the money to buy a house? No, I've got $2 in the bank. Well, you don't have the energy for it. The second question, which is the most crucial question in any startup company or any relationship, anything in your life, is the timing right? Making a great decision tells you, do I have the energy for this, and is the timing right? Those two things are absolutely fundamental to being able to successfully manifest anything. So making great decisions is a huge ability or skill that a person needs in their life. That's the very first thing. Human design goes right to the core. And what it does is offer you an alternative to making decisions with your mind. Right? It doesn't negate the mind. It doesn't say the mind is bad or wrong. It takes the pressure off your mind to run your life and sets your mind free to soar and do really great things, which the mind is designed for. But because it's been carrying for thousands of years the burden of running your life, which helped it grow and evolve immensely, but because it's had that burden, it hasn't been able to really soar to its full capacities. It hasn't been able to use its imagination in a way that really fulfills the potential of using our imagination.
Unhindered, uncluttered,
unburdened.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that human design really brings forth and puts right in your face and in the face of everybody else is we are all unique individuals. Human design brings to the surface that every one of us is an utterly unique, extremely valuable individual with unique talents and gifts.
I think it does it in a way that I haven't seen before. I've been in the human potential movement for probably close on 40 something years of my life, and I've had run seminars, conferences and educational programs to tens of thousands of people, literally, radio broadcasts and the works. And there's not much I haven't seen in the human potential movement, and I admire it and I love it, and I love all the people that are in it. It's doing a great job. Don't mean in any way to put it, it's very, very important. Yeah, most of you probably wouldn't even be here listening to this if you hadn't been engaged in the human potential movement in more than one aspect. I'm sure of that. However, human design, for me personally, from experience, and 60 years of age today, well, I was 60 years of age yesterday too, actually, but, it has brought together all of the best of everything I've ever known in the human potential movement, and a lot more. And it's integrated, so many different disciplines and understandings, ancient and new, science and philosophy, etc., all sort of combined together for me personally in human design. And it's not any one of those particular things, it's all of them plus it's more, because just in the same way that 1 + 1 sometimes equals so much more than just 2. You bring 2 individuals together, 2 unique ones together, and they make so much more than just the sum of the 2 of them. Well, human design does that for me in so many wonderful ways, and I'm just loving the journey of learning. I mean, part of my design is to investigate things, so of course I'm getting a big buzz out of the investigation side, but I've also learned that not to be fooled by that buzz and think that I've learned something just because I'm excited about it, because I've really only learned it when I understand the integration of it in my life and I'm doing it subconsciously. It's like going to university and learning to drive. If all you do is sit in a chair and listen to somebody teach you about learning to drive, don't ask me to get in the car with you, because you can only learn to drive by actually driving.
Yeah.
And human design's like that. You can go to university, you can watch all the videos, read all the books, pass all the exams, but I won't be interested in your advice until you can tell me you've lived it for a while and how it's affected your life and what difference it's made. Yeah. And that's what our course is about. It's helping you to actually live it in a practical way. And we're here to answer questions. We're here to assist you in practical ways and make a difference in your life. That's what we really want to do. We want to make a difference.
That's why we've created this as a framework to your life, not as something you do sort of in the breaks in your life or something you add to your life, but it's a framework in which you can live your unique life as an individual and make decisions the way you're designed to make them. See, the first thing when we sent out the email about this is, what does human design really have to offer you? And we've covered quite a lot of that just already. It has to offer you a fundamental change in the way you live your life for the better. It doesn't matter where you're at in your life, it's going to change it. Secondly, it's going to offer you the way it does that is it gives you a really powerful, testable alternative to making decisions, which is really important in your life. If you're making great decisions, you move through life the way you're designed to move through life, and you end up where you belong, not where you think you belong, right? Now that's really important, because the other thing human design brings out is you are a unique individual. Now, for thousands of years, individuality was tolerated a little by societies and tribes. Now it's utterly essential to your growth and development in today's world and into the future.
That's right.
Absolutely and utterly essential, right? You cannot hide in fitting in any longer in the world that is now
emerging. That's right. Yeah,
you just cannot.
Away from homogenization into uniqueness, isn't it?
Yeah, and it seems like it's getting more homogenized, but what is actually happening when you look closely at it is there's this huge space being created for people to turn up as individuals. Now, when you make decisions as who you really are, you move through the world in a way that works for you, and you end up where you really belong. Now, in that position, you're surrounded by the people you belong with, so you can be a unique individual without creating anarchy. In fact, the people you belong with want you to be as unique as you possibly can be. They absolutely want you to be. And they're going to appreciate you, and you're going to feel appreciated and feel like your talents can be put to their full use. So human design offers you that, finding out where you really belong, finding out who you really are, and that fundamentally changes your life. Now, in order to do that, and then we talked about this course creating a framework, we developed this course as best as we could following our strategy and inner authority. We know a lot about marketing. Darryl's been in business for decades, and I've had businesses and stuff like that, but we let it develop, and what we discovered is this course had turned into a territory, not a particular course that everybody does the same thing. Remember, we said human design is for wolves, not sheep. Sheep need a paddock. And then when you go to dip them so that they're healthy and everything, their wool's good, you run them through a particular channel into a sheep dip, and they all do the same thing. Well, wolves need a territory. They need an environment that they can explore, that they can prowl around in, where they can absorb, where they can hunt, where they can do their thing.
Roam.
Where they can roam. That was the word I'm looking for. So what we did, as we developed this course and improved it and added more to it, it kept developing and developing. Once we even started the beta version, it was like, and we brought this in and we brought that in, and you can look at all the things that are available on the web page for the course. But we discovered this is a territory we'd created, not just a school or a particular course that people go through and everybody does it at the same time in the same place, and you all turn up at a time that suits me and Darryl, and and if you can't, well, you get to see the recording. No, the whole thing is a territory where you can roam and explore and discover how you relate best to the knowledge that we're sharing, and then integrate it fully with your daily experience, your relationships, your work, the way your career is evolving, how you relate to your children, all this sort of stuff. And I when I woke up to this is what had happened. I was so excited, because this is a place where you can learn the way you're designed to learn.
You're going to come out the end of this as a richer, more satisfied, more at peace, more successful you. You're not going to come out at the end of this as somebody who's equal to everyone else that comes out of it, who's passed a course, got all the answers right, got their MBA in human design. You're going to come out as a richer you. We're not so interested in the certificate. We're not interested in the MBA. We're not interested in the BA, the PhD. Sorry, that's not what we offer. What we offer is that you come out of this richer, fuller, more satisfied, more at peace, more confident, relating more successfully.
Really enjoying being yourself. That's what it boils down to.
And,
you are the certificate.
Exactly.
You are the living example of human design in a person's life. Now, it's not going to be the same as somebody else, but it's going to be a one-off. And the whole program is focused around that, because, see, the world is going through incredibly profound changes. That's obvious. It doesn't matter even if you're the most conservative business person. You can see it in the financial markets, in the way business has been done around the world. just in the way the internet's changing,
technology, biology,
as well as biology, exactly, spirituality, whatever area you're interested in, it's obvious there are profound changes going on. And human design and this course together align you with that. Human design does it for the very reasons I talked about earlier. You know, where the rubber hits the road with all these changes in the world is you need to make decisions successfully as the unique individual you really are. In other words, your decisions need to work for you. You can have all these incredible spiritual visions and imaginations and dreams and visions and bring in all these possibilities, but do you have the energy for it? And is the timing right? Will tell you when to manifest it. You know, when to do it without struggle, when to do it with, even if you do struggle, the challenge will be so exciting and so fulfilling that you won't mind. Or if you have to work really hard at getting your business up, or, you know, have to develop your relationship in a way that you're meeting someone who's, you've realized is a unique individual, and you have to relate to them, not just get them into a relationship, but you have to develop a relationship out of relating to them. You'll enjoy the process. You'll be a richer person for it.
Yeah, exactly. You know? I think as much as anything too, not only will you be relating to people, but the way I see it, for me personally, one of the greatest values I've taken away and incorporated into my life from human design is my relationship with life. Not just people. People are life, of course, and the environment and all the rest. But one thing that's really impacted me in a deep way and is impacting me every single day is my relationship to life. Because you don't have to live very long to have heard about conspiracy theories, right? We've all heard about conspiracy theories. Well, I want to purport to you in this moment a conspiracy. The conspiracy that life can work with you and for you if you can allow yourself to trust life. Now, human design will help you, teach you, give you revelation and understanding as you listen to the course, and as it starts to sink in and filter down through the mire of mud that's, you know, conditioned your mind till now, and get through all that to a place of clarity where you will start to realize, not just learn, but realize that you can flow with life in such a way that you're part of the great conspiracy of life to bring you out into the place of beauty, the place of peace, the place of stress-freeness, if there's such a word. And that's what's happening in my life.
Exactly. That's exactly. The reason I was smiling is that for the 15 months we've known each other, I've literally seen this happen with Darryl. Now, Darryl was a successful, smart, well-known person, you know, in the circles that he moved in when I met him. You know, he wasn't someone going, oh, what am I going to do with my life? He's a guy who knew a lot and knew that he knew a lot. And then I've watched this happen, and what he just shared is absolutely true, because I've seen it happen in front of me, and it comes directly from his personal experience. Now, will that happen for you? No, it won't. What will happen for you is what you need in your life to be the individual you really are, and to make the decisions that really work for you, so that the ultimate outcome is you will be enjoying your life. I mean, was that all? Hey, to me, life is a gift. You know, my job is to learn to receive gifts, you know, and I had a great life as well before human design. It wasn't perfect, and it isn't now in any shape or form, and I don't even aspire to being perfect. You know, I aspire to enjoying my life and to really give a legacy, you know, successfully to the world, because I've had such a great life, you know. But life was good, was really good. I'd reached a point where I could have quite easily died and been very happy, And I said that to people when people brought it up. You know, I realized that. But human design has taken it to a level of just elegance and sophistication and yet simplicity that is so beautiful. You know, I'm 67 now and I want to live for another 30, 40 years, you know, in good health, hopefully. But, you know, even if not, I want to live another 30 or 40 years because human design is just, you know, it's brought the fascination back. And my life was incredible, but it's brought the fascination back and it's brought the practicality back now where I'm able to relate in ways that I never was before, that was so obvious and so simple, but they came naturally from me. I didn't have to learn the skill and then impose that upon myself. You know, my skill for relating emerged out of me. My skill for creating business emerged out of me. This course is a demonstration of it, the way it was put together. You know, it wasn't planned. It emerged out of me and Darryl working together with Carissa's help. And you know, it took on its own life form and it's such a joy to be a part of. That's what I'd love you out there to experience as well. And we aim this at innovators and entrepreneurs because the world is changing. And innovators are at the cutting edge of this change, you know, and entrepreneurs because they're the people who are bringing new possibilities and new ideas into business and making them real. And human design and the world, human design is designed for those sort of people. They're the type of people who are really going to experience it, not just study it. Of course you'll study it. This course we go into, we deconstruct the whole of human design, like pulling a car apart. And then we put it together so it makes sense to you. Whether you know, get a PhD in it or not, it's up to you. But we do it so that an innovator and an entrepreneur can really make sense of what they're looking at with their chart. They understand what their type is. They understand what strategy is and why you even follow it. And they understand inner authority and what it does and how it works and what they're looking at a chart so that they can use it in their real life and it can make a real difference to their life so that your life makes a difference to the people around you. And that's how the world is going to change. That's what the changes in the world are demanding, is that individuals turn up as who they really are.
It's going to take a lot of pressure off you for sure, because every day we're confronted in our lives with situations that make us feel we need to decide about something. We need to make decisions. And what human design will do for you is enable you and empower you to take a moment. Sometimes it'll be for you. Others it might be take a few minutes. For others it might be take a few days. But take the time that's required to arrive at the point where you are certain that you are in the flow and in alignment with life. And when you're in the alignment that you need to be with life, life carries you forward in a positive and enduring way, so that you are fully satisfied, you are fully fulfilled, you are conscious of success and peace in your life, rather than, shit, did I make the right move? Is that the right thing to do, Chris? Or what would you have done, mate?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that. You don't have to live like that anymore. You don't have to second guess yourself. You don't have to ask anybody's opinion.
Yeah.
Hey, think about that. You don't have to ask anybody's opinion because they're not you.
But you don't have to.
No, that's
and
right.
You become the authority in making the decisions. You become the authority in your life. You can respect other people's authority. You can learn from other people who have something to teach you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to being responsible for your life, human design gives the ability to take that responsibility by being the decision maker.
That's right.
You know, when salespeople go into an organization, you know, what's the smartest thing to do? Can I speak to the person who makes the decisions here, right? Otherwise, you're going to waste a hell of a lot of time trying to sell something to someone who can't make the decision.
Well, thanks for the information, Chris. I just got to talk to the wife now.
Exactly. Damn. Yeah, it's like you become the decision maker, and you get to test whether you should make those decisions with your mind, which we've outgrown, to be honest, to just lay it on the table. As human beings, we've outgrown the need to put the burden of decision making on our mind so that our mind grows and evolves. It's now grown and evolved enough that it needs to be set free. You know, it's got its PhD. Now it can go out there and have a real life and be a part of your life. But you can be the person running your life. It can contribute great ideas and possibilities and options, and it can explore all sorts of realms and possibilities. It can imagine, dream, vision. Fantastic. But it's given the freedom to have a life of its own, and in the process it will enrich your life in this world. But the part of you that lives in this world, the part of you that has a vested interest in you having a great life, that's the part that gets to make decisions. And then the two of them dance together, and you realize that you're more than either of them. Who you really are is the person, is the being, whatever you want to call it, consciousness, enjoying this experience.
Or not.
Or not. And your mind gets to enjoy the experience. And your body also gets to enjoy the experience, because it has a vested interest in having a life that flows easily. And that even, I've had plenty of challenging moments since I've been living my design. You know, we just spent a weekend up in Bangkok, Darryl and I and our partners and kids and everything else like that. And I remember the night I was there, sleeping in a new hotel in a different area, and that it was just, I didn't enjoy it. Yet I woke up. I actually was able to, how can I say, make the best of it and wake up the next day and have an incredible day. And even learned from that challenge that it loosened me up in a way that I can't put my finger on. Again, I'm just sharing a personal experience about human design. Just blows my mind all the time. And in fact, has won the respect of my mind to the point where it sort of now doesn't try and impose itself on me. It sort of sits back and enjoys the experience, as well as the deeper part of me. And I really experienced that night. There's a deeper part of me that's truly me, and that it came through. And I got a sense of that, and it just loosened me up as an individual. So the next day we had the most incredible day. I mean, we both remember it. If you're interested, there's a few photographs on my Facebook page about it. But we had the most liberating and incredible day. And most of the time my mind was going, what about this and what about that? And I'm not going to do this. But in the end, it was like, wow, that was beautiful. All the things I thought would happen didn't. And all the things that needed to happen did. And I thought I'd be tired coming home, and I was truly satisfied coming home. And, you know, human design will really give you not only an understanding, well, particularly this course has been designed to not only give you an understanding of what human design is and what it does for you and what the hell you're looking at when you look at the chart. We really deconstruct that and put that back together. But it will really get you in touch with, this course particularly will get you in touch with what is your type and really what that means. What is your strategy and why you would even follow it? What is your inner authority? Where does your authority come from? Really, so not that you've, I've looked that up on the internet and I know what that is, what else is out there, but really make it real in your life, so you're experiencing the value of it in your everyday life. And then it will give you, I'm going to be calling this the 4 cornerstones or the 4 pillars of human design: strategy, inner authority, and how you know you're on track and how you know you're off track. The 2 emotional keys that will really, and it gets you in, it doesn't give you the keys and good luck. that was, you know, thanks for buying our course. Off you go. You know, you've got the keys,
Sure.
but it'll make those keys real.
That's right.
You know,
it's like driving in the car with Google Navigate on. If you take a wrong turn, you're going to hear the voice that going, you need to make a U-turn and go back, or please turn left. Yeah. It's going to give you the assurance of how to get where you need to go. That's what's going to happen for you. Yeah. And allow life to take you there, rather than feel the pressure and the personal struggle of forcing something through to make it happen. How many times have you forced stuff to happen? I mean, if you're like me, and I happen to be a manifester in the human design speak, I've forced so many things to happen, and I'll probably force a few more things to happen in the future. But learning to allow life to back me up, it's like having the wind in my sails. You know, all I've got to do is just, I don't know if you've ever done windsurfing, but, you know, I did it a few years ago when I was younger. And just catching the wind in that sail and being able to just direct it so that effortlessly, other than hanging on, which is a bit of an effort sometimes, but other than hanging on, it just effortlessly takes me where I want to go, and I get all the enjoyment and the thrill of the ride and the feel of the whole experience, and I get where I want to go at the expense of life. Yeah. You're not at my own expense, and my energy is very little compared to the energy that's carrying me forward, and yet so many times I've tried to blow my own sail and keep myself standing up. So, you know, it's so true.
I've actually done that on a windsurfer. So I sailed across the
blown in it and tried to keep it going.
Well, basically, yeah. I mean, first time I tried one, I got up and sailed across a river in a place called the Gold Coast in Australia, in Queensland, Australia, and I sailed across the river. And the wind blew me across, and then I realized I had to get back across again, and the wind was blowing against me, and I could have stood there and eventually I just laid the sail flat. Luckily I hadn't sailed out into the ocean. I laid the sail flat and just paddled very slowly back across the river, but it's, life, this whole course is, okay, it's a fundamental change in the way you live your life for the better. But actually, it's a fundamental change so that you can enjoy the richness of what life is.
Sure.
The absolute, talk about, getting abundant. Yeah, maybe you'll make a lot of money with human design, and maybe you won't. The fascinating thing about it is that I've got in tune with realizing I've got the money I need, and the money I need will come to me if I'm living my design.
If health's important to you, you'll certainly live a healthier life.
Absolutely. If relationships are important to you, guess what? You won't get packaged into a relationship. You'll learn the ability of relating, and then the natural relationship between you and another person will emerge in a unique framework, in a unique form that's right for you.
That's right. If feeling satisfied is important to you, you'll certainly come to a point of being able to experience that. And if being at peace with you is important to you, you'll experience that.
You'll find out what's important to you. That's the key to the whole damn thing. But you'll discover that. See, this is not a journey of conquering human design and getting certified.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is a journey of discovery. And once as you discover, then it becomes a journey of creativity, where creative energy emerges out of you because you've turned up as who you really are, and you are a unique creation with unique creative abilities. And you and life begin to dance together, to work together. You discover that life is backing you up, and you discover that it'll back you up even more if you turn up more of who you are.
Yeah, just got to hold the sail in the right place.
It's not that life's not willing to be incredible for you. It's, do you have the ability to turn up in such a way that you can receive it?
That's right.
And can you actually turn up as the unique thing that life is waiting for you to be? Okay, so here's a couple of things. Let's talk about the practicalities of the course, and then we'll answer any questions you have. There's been a few questions come in, but I think you get a sense of the energy and enthusiasm behind the course. You know, if you want to know the detail and the facts, go to the webpage. You know, you would find that on the email you received or in the Facebook page. If not, I'm sure that'll be posted up on the replay of this, and maybe Carissa, you can put it up here before we go in the chat room, the link to the web page. But so look at all the details. It's ideally suited to 6 months, right? However, we've discovered in the beta course that some people want to do it even more slowly because they digest things slowly. And the course is presented to you in such a way that you don't have to do it at a particular time. You can take your time, or you can move through it quickly if you have the time or the desire to do so. As I said, it's a territory. There's 28 modules where we take human design apart with the express purpose of you being able to understand what you're looking at when you look at a chart. So you can look at your own chart or other people's charts and know what you're looking at. That takes some doing, but we take it apart. In fact, the beginning of the course, we look at what's in it for you. Why would you even do human design? And how would you do it? We spend a few modules just looking at what you're really dealing with. What is it? And why would you do it on a practical level? And what's it going to do for you? We really look at that. And then we get into deconstructing the whole chart, literally pulling it apart like you would disassemble a car, and then putting it back together so you know what you're looking at. And then we get into strategy and inner authority in a way I don't think has ever been done before. Ra did it in his own way and, you know, did an amazing job. But Ra's no longer here. You've got videos out there which are very worth seeing. But in this course, we take the whole thing to a new level because we're different people. You know, we're focused on business and innovation and entrepreneurship and living it in the real world. You know, we're focused on making each part of it not something you study and get a certificate for, but something you come to grips with in your real life. That's what we're doing. That's what our focus is, to make it easy for you if you don't want to be a certified practitioner or a student, but you want to use it in the real world of your real life so that you make a difference to everyone you impact, right? And therefore we look at strategy, and then we look at inner authority, and we look at how you know you're on track and how you know you're off track. And we make that really alive for you. I've been doing client or, you know, working with clients in consultations for 30, 40 years of my life. And for the last 8 years with human design. And it amazes me how many people have been into human design for a year or 2 or 3. And you ask them, so why would you even, you know, use your strategy? And they go, oh, because, you know, that's what I've been taught, or that's what I've learned, or they don't know why. And it makes such a difference when they come to grips with it. You know, often in the consultations, I'll go right back to basics because that's where the advanced work is done. The advanced work is the basics done really well. So we really come to grips with why you would do strategy, so you know it, even if you're not interested in human design or new age stuff at all. You know, you go, oh yeah, but this is practical, I can come to grips with that. And we look at inner authority, and then we look at how you're on track, how you know you're off track, and how you know you're on track, and how, you know, what your not self is and what your real self is, and how, you know, how they develop and how you can take advantage of both of them. You know, and then at the end of the course, we look at, you know, how you apply it in the real world. But then we added these new PDFs and stuff that you can look at where you've got clues and hints about how to work with gates and all sorts of other things. And then we started looking at my commentaries. And this is where the territory emerged. You know, some people love looking at the commentaries, don't look at the modules. Some people look at the modules. And I'd suggest look at the lot, but do it in your own time when the timing's right for you. You know, the whole thing has been designed so you can follow your strategy and inner authority, even when you don't know what they are, in terms of doing the course, so that it works for you. It's not fixed to a certain time frame.
And we've designed it in a way that you can listen to it in various formats. You can, you know, watch it on your computer. You can just download the MP3 and listen to it in the car while you're driving to work. If you've got a long trip to work, you might, you know, take in a whole course that way, or bits and pieces, or you can just lay in bed and listen to the MP3, or there's ways you can digest the information. I think that's important for everybody, to give you those tools to be able to adapt to your particular lifestyle.
Yeah, and see, it gives you freedom. It allows you to do it your way. It's not, you know, there's a whole territory you can explore. You can become a wolf, not a sheep. We don't want you to be a sheep following us, you know. We want you to do this your way, in the way that you learn best, in the way that really works for you. Now, here's where this course is very different from other courses, as well as what we've just said. You've got access to this course for the rest of your life, or as long as you want it. And any updates, any improvements, any more territory we add, you're in. You'll get it for free. You know, now if we do a whole new course, that's a new course, but everything that improves, develops, every way this course is taken to new levels. And I'm the type of person, you know, I'm what they call a trendsetter, and Darryl's a catalyst. You know, we're constantly opening up and developing and fine-tuning this course. And that will be available to you. Once you're in, that's available to you for the rest of your life. Now, this is not a sales close to put urgency on it, what I'm about to say. It's not. It's just informing you. Within a couple of months, we're looking at joint venturing with people in various parts of the world. There was already quite a bit of interest in us doing this.
We're in discussions already.
We're in discussions already to do this, which means within a couple of months, we will probably have to almost double the price of the course, or more, I don't know, or less, or whatever. Now, we're never going to push it to the point where we're just using that to milk money out of you. You know, I don't do discounts, but I do add value.
But it is already very, very inexpensive.
Well, that's the other thing. When you compare it to any other human design course out there, not any other, there are cheaper courses, but they're much smaller. You know, they're small little webinar courses or whatever courses there are. Then there's all the other courses that are out there. When you compare this, we're on average half the price of anything out there. Go and check it out if you don't believe us. We've checked it out. This is already way undervalued.
If you look at the cost you would invest, the money you would invest for an hour of instruction, and compare it to the money you would invest for an hour of instruction with us and the value you'd get, what Chris is saying here is that our course is running at probably somewhere near 50% what the average would be.
What it should be actually charging. Now, we're aware of that. We're comfortable with that for the moment. But because of our joint venturing and everything and the costs involved with that, we will have to increase. And if you're in now, you're in at that price. So again, it's not a slick close or anything like that. It's just informing you of where we're at in our timeline and how things are developing, so that if you decide to get involved with this, if it's right for you. Now, again, we're not into selling you and manipulating you to do something you don't want to do. We're interested in people even getting involved in the course according to their design, even if they don't know what that means. What it does mean is, if this is right for you, now's a great time, because you're going to get great value for your money. And not only that, you've got all the flexibility to do it your own way. And once you're in for this course.
We also have enough confidence in what we're doing and who we are as people, with our own personal integrity, that anybody that's not satisfied within the first 30 days, we offer a 100% money back guarantee. So
if it's not for you,
if it's not for you, and you've got 30 days to figure that out. So if you can't figure it out in 30 days, you definitely need it.
Even the reflectors will be able to make a decision in that period of time.
That's right.
That's an in-joke if you don't know about human design. Yeah, so look, I mean, go for it if it's right for you now. If it isn't, if you're, look, 50% of you will need to sit on this for a few days at least to make a decision. Do so, but check out the web page, revisit the webinar, do whatever you need to do to get to a point where you're clear emotionally that this is right for you. Then you'll have no regrets. Now, as far as I know, from my point of view, we've designed this so there are no regrets. Will there be bugs and problems and things that don't work and that? Hey, this is the internet and computers, of course, of course, those things. But we've got our beautiful, partner, Carissa, who's just brilliant at that. Yeah, say hello, Carissa.
Hi, everyone.
He's in the background doing all the, technical work and that. There's, oh, by the way, there's Facebook pages where you can discuss it if you're into Facebook. Some people who did the beta course don't want to be a part of the Facebook thing. Other people want to be. Fantastic, but we're here to provide a framework for your experience. And human design is one of the most elegant ways to truly take your life to a new level. It's such a practical level.
And you won't be in this on your own. We're not just selling a course and then where the hell are we? You can't find us. We're here. We can consult with you and we can engage with you and assist you in so many ways. So we're wanting to work with you and be a part of what's happening in your world.
Yeah.
And you be a part of what's happening in our
world as well.
And we might be distant geographically, but we don't have to be distant energetically.
No, not at all. I mean, I love the people that we work with. I love watching how they evolve. I mean, I've seen Carissa and Darryl, and I've just seen people on our beta course, just wow, the changes and the growth they're going through. And they're humans, they're not perfect, neither am I, neither is any of you out there. And it's beautiful to watch the quirks and the various different approaches and even the not selves in operation. It's fascinating, to see that, and then see the problem with the not self is not that we're in our not self or we're being conditioned. The problem is when the conditioning or our not self limits our enjoyment of life and our success in life.
Gets in the way.
It gets in the way. Now, we want to take that away and allow what the not self is now, or the conditioning is now, to turn into one of the greatest assets you'll ever have. And it ultimately boils down to your ability to receive everything that life has to offer you that really is right for you to experience in life. That happens as well. That's another almost unspoken outcome. And also your mind gets to then take another position as what's called your outer authority. That's a little bit down the line, but it sets you up in such a beautiful way to fully enjoy your life. Now, just to answer any questions before we go, I mean, by now, you probably know that you need to sit on it for a few days, or you want to do it. Then knock yourself out, go ahead and join up. If you need a few days or you need some time to sit with it, do it. We're not out there to convince you to do this. We're out there to expose ourselves to you and what we've done and what we've provided, which we think is a great way for people to really engage human design in a way that makes it real for them in their life and brings out the best in, innovators and entrepreneurs, the people on the cutting edge who are going to make a difference in the world. That's our market. People who want to make a difference, either in their own life, in the lives of their family and people they know, or in the world, or all three. That's our market. People who are ready to truly make a fundamental change in the way they live their life. If that's you, join up. If it isn't, if you don't have the money, I've got a YouTube channel out there with a ton of stuff out there. But when you are ready, get involved if it's right for you. If it's right for you. We do this with our own unique flavor and our own unique approach. If you want to make human design real in your life and you're willing to take the time to make it happen, or to allow it to happen, and even to know when to make it happen, then check us out. Really, get involved. We'd love to have you involved with us. If you just want to study it or entertain your mind or be distracted, there's plenty of other courses out there. Feel absolutely free to enjoy them.
Sure.
Okay.
What have we got by way of questions here, Chris?
Now, let me have a look. We had a couple of questions.
Yeah, there's not any particular ones here with the chat. We're just chatting away here.
Chatting away, good. Pretty good time. Great. Well, there's a couple. One from Ariana, who's actually a client of mine, and I've done some actual videos with her about human design. So welcome, Ariana, when you get to see this. What is the difference between, the question she had is, what is the difference between learning from Ra or another human design consultant and learning from you? Okay, well, I think we've addressed a lot of that.
I think we have. I think our focus is specific.
Yep.
And everybody's got their own unique approach and focus and contribution to make. And our contribution specifically is to innovators and entrepreneurs and people who are focused on making a difference in the world and business and in other ways.
In their relationships.
Our focus is in that area in particular. Whereas I think in the case of your question there, what's the difference of Ra or other human design consultants, I think they've got their unique focus as well. With Ra, he was a generalist who gave us the whole spectrum in a broad sense so that we could have a starting point that related to us as individuals. And we've taken, the general information and found, according to our human design and the flow with life, an opportunity to present something and bring something back to the community of the world in this specific way, reaching out to innovators and entrepreneurs. So fantastic question, Ariana, and I think that the answer is that we've got a specific contribution to make that is unique and different from everybody else's contribution. And what people need to do is find out, trust their own inner authority and decide what they need to be applying to their lives right now. And if we're right for you right now, then jump on board.
If we fit, hey, we'd love to have you on board. If we don't and someone else is better, go with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
By
all means, expose yourself to everything Ra's got to say, because he gives you the broad view of everything. He's brilliant, and probably there wouldn't be human design if it wasn't for Ra.
Well, there wouldn't be at all. And in fact, some of you may or may not know this, but Ra passed away in 2011. So you can't learn from someone he's not alive, he's not with us any longer. We're not trying to do something in a sense.
We're not competing.
Yeah, we're not competing with Ra. In fact, I've always felt that I'm building upon the work that he's done. I've always had the understanding, not always, but for a long time in my life, I've had the understanding that the greatest honor you can give to a master is to supersede them, is to take their work to a whole new level, with building upon their legacy. And Ra left a phenomenal legacy. And of course, it was flavored with his unique perspective and his unique consciousness and ideas about things and ways of expressing himself. Well, Darryl and I have a different way of expressing ourselves. We have unique gifts. I'm very good at, in a sense, taking things to a new level. I'm a trendsetter. I set new trends. So I can build on what Ra started and set new trends in human design. Darryl is naturally a catalyst and has a huge amount of experience in the realities of living in the world, on all sorts of level, dealing with groups, dealing with businesses, being someone who was well known and had a huge audience for many years in his life. He knows how to work with groups of human beings and how human beings are conditioned and how human beings can be successful, and he starts things off on a new level.
I've had a lot of business experience as well. I probably started, maybe 8 to 10 businesses, including a public company that started out as a private company. Within 18 months, we listed on the Stock Exchange of Australia. So, you know, I've had a lot of success in business. I've been very fortunate and very, very blessed and lucky, however you want to see it. But it's given me experience at lots of different levels. And I've worked with cottage industry people, and, you know, who've got small businesses, and I've worked with the large major corporates, and I've traveled the world doing that. I've had a very blessed life. So I bring that experience to the table as well. And I'm the newbie on the block with human designers. You know, Chris has got a lot more experience, but you know, I bring a perspective as a newbie, you know, been in the human design understanding for probably 12, 15 months, something like that.
Yeah, and it's good because he asks the questions that new people, particularly in the course, he asks the questions that new people would ask.
Yeah, you can see my growth in the course, you know, from the start of it into a few months in. You can see how my understanding is clearly growing, and you can relate to that as well.
Okay, and how are we different from other human design consultants? Well, we're different. You know, I mean, we're individuals, we're unique. One thing we do bring to the table that other consultants do as well is a passion, but a passion with what Darryl said is a very specific focus. Is to, you know, get people to live their, not get them, but to create a framework within which people can live their design.
That's right.
Not just in a short period of time where, you know, there are people out there who do intense programs with human design. Well, this is an intense program over time, and it gives you the information, but it integrates it with your real life so that, and we deliberately do that. We talk about, we ask questions, we do the webinars in there where we talk about what's going on in people's real lives. We have the Facebook groups where they talk about what's going on in their real lives. And out of that, we learn so much and we improve the program.
We're building a community.
Yeah, yeah, we are. And not, we're building a community. It's just a community is emerging.
It's emerging, yeah.
You know, it's beautiful about it. Now, there was another question where,
before we get that, Carol, I want you to look at the chat. Carol from in the beta course, she's chimed in.
Oh, yeah. Anything
yes.
you'd like to point out from there?
Yes, she says, first one was further down, but she said, FYI, everyone, I'm in the beta program, and the classes and the modules are presented just like this intro. So you are really getting a flavor for what the course is right now. And then just a second ago, she says, everyone, this class is a fit for you if you connect to this intro and if you want to discover how to live your human design. Your life is your classroom, and the course is your
Let me just read that a little more clearly because you're breaking up a little bit. Everyone, the class is a fit if you connect with this intro and if you want to discover how to live, in capitals, your human design. Your life is your classroom. Right on, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
By the way, Carol, I still remember our consultation in Brisbane. Carol's from the other side of the world. Very fondly. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, so that's someone who's actually in the course, just making it clear. So the other question, Agatha asked a specific question about what does my chart say about career and purpose?
It's a good question, Agatha. I think your chart says about career and purpose what everybody's chart says about their career and purpose, and it gives you, again, the framework to which you are best suited. It doesn't tell you that you should be, you know, a seamstress or a doctor or a physiotherapist or a nutritionist, but it gives you a clear understanding of what motivates you in life, what gets you excited, what ways you are best find yourself functioning in, and because of that, for example, I'm a manifester, and I learn by trial and error. So guess what? I'd make a lousy brain surgeon, and my chart tells me that, right? Just like if your chart tells you things about you that you can deduce because of the type of person that you are. So that's what you're going to learn when you understand your chart, is you're going to start to realize where you can fit best, and there'll be a broad sense of what you can do. But that's when you start to learn about your strategy and inner authority and make things more specific for yourself. So should I become, you know, a brain surgeon if you're suited to be a brain surgeon? Well, your strategy and inner authority will tell you if you've got the energy for it.
And if the timing's right.
And if the timing's right. Well, sorry, you're only 14 years old, so maybe no, now's not a good time.
Not a good time. Yeah. And let me give you just a couple of real specifics, just as an example. Look, in human design speak, if you know it, if you don't know it, you'll learn it. Agatha is a projector. Okay, now this is how specific it gets. Her career and her purpose. Well, one, she's got a very specific thing in her chart that says she's designed to look for a purpose in life, so hence the question. But here's the other thing. Just as a projector, she's here for the other person, not for others in general, but for helping to guide and manage the use of energy of other people. So she waits. Her strategy is to wait until the other person recognizes her and invites her to get engaged, to do something with them, to help them, to guide them particularly. Right? And the biggest problem is waiting tends to make the mind very antsy and skittish. The reason she waits is not because she has to wait because that's what Ra said, that's what Christopher said, that's what Darryl said, that's what the book says. No, she waits for the other person to get themselves to the right place, to recognize her and invite her to help. In other words, projectors wait for the other person to get their act together, put simply, just put it in simple speak. And so the waiting, what does she do while she's waiting? She enjoys her life. And when someone recognizes or invites her, then she knows instantly whether that person or that situation is right for her. So what does it say about her purpose? Her purpose is to enjoy life as the unique individual she is, to learn from experience. I'm bringing in a few other things here, right? And to wait for other people to be ready for her to help them. And she'll know they're ready when they recognize that she could help them and invite her to help them. So her purpose is to enjoy life and wait for other people to be ready for the unique guidance and insight that she gives them. And part of that purpose is to be a role model of even being a projector. So when I say that, oh, that's your purpose, file that away. Now, what's the next thing I can learn? Hold on. Agatha's whole life turns around that. I've just said a few things. Don't just give it to the mind and let it run away. It will take you years of your life to really settle into that and make that real, to the point where you are so feeling successful just being alive, Agatha. The whole way you know you're on track is when you're feeling successful breathing, being alive. Then even if you're waiting, no problem. If you're helping someone out, no problem, because you knew they were ready to receive the input that you give them. That's how specific it gets. And the other part of it is allowing the mind to de-stress from all the anxiety about what I should be doing and relax and enable you to enjoy the ride and the incredible beauty of the unique life you have. Now, that's just a real quick summary. You know, if you really want to know more, either do the course or have a consultation, you know, because we can go into that in very specific detail. Anything else, Carissa, or should we wrap it up? Because we don't want to make...
I don't see anything else as far as questions. Oh, Anna just asked, you say the human design is a 7-year process. Does this course speed up that process, or is it just part of it?
Okay, great question, Anna. Thank you. Now, pregnancy is a 9-month process. Does human design speed up pregnancy? No, hopefully not, right? And by the way, human design isn't a 7-year process. it takes 7 years for you to really start to fully integrate it into every cell of your body. You know, the reason that statement was made is because it takes 7 years for every cell in your body to renew itself. Some of them renew every couple of days or whatever, but there are certain cells in the body that don't refresh themselves and renew themselves completely until after a 7-year cycle. Okay, so on that basis, Ra said that human design is a 7-year process. What he meant when he said that was, and he actually said this at various times, it takes 7 years for the information, the energy you're receiving, that you are bringing into form, the information, the energy information, for that information energy to settle into every cell, for every cell in your body to, oh, I've heard about human design now. Oh, I'm at least attuned to that resonance. Oh, therefore it's making sense. Now, I have friends who've been involved with human design for 20 years or more. And are they learning less now? Have they got it? Are they there yet? No way. I mean, there are people out there who've been for 20 years who are, in a sense, saying they do. You know, that happens anywhere with any group or any relationship or anything, you know. But the people I know, and after 8 years myself, my advice, don't rush it. Enjoy the first 7 minutes, the first 7 days, the first 7 weeks, the first 7 months, and the first 7 years.
Sure.
But am I learning any less? No way.
Roger Federer still practices.
Yep.
You know, he's still learning to improve his tennis stroke, even though he's been the world #1 for years.
Yep.
In the past. So you become proficient, but you never arrive.
Yeah, beautifully put. Like, you know, I've done 7 years. Am I there? No, I'm here. I'm here right now, you know. And 8 years into it, I'm going, wow, I said this to Darryl in the car yesterday. I'm learning more about human design on such amazingly subtle levels than I've ever learned. And yet strategy and inner authority are more real to me now, and more, wow, in my face, but wow, this really is important now, 8 years into it. So the point Ra was making is, you'll hear about human design and then investigate it maybe or not, but 7 years into it, if you've been working with human design, every cell in your body will know of it. And so in a sense, you'll have a body that's in tune with human design. But, you know, a lot of people have taken that statement and then used it to say, you know, you're not there until 7 years, and people have done what everybody does with their minds, you know, made a comment that was insightful at the time and then made it into a law or something. You're not there, you know, you're not a member of the club until you've done 7 years. Rubbish. You know, but pregnancy, you don't want to rush it. And seriously, 7 years into it and more, you don't want to rush it. It's so beautiful when you don't rush it. And it's so incredible when you haven't been rushing it, and then an experience comes along and you go, oh, now I understand because of the experience I had. You don't want to rob yourself of those incredibly insightful, beautiful experiences. They're what make living your design so rich. You know, your mind wants to rush it. You know, being involved with the New Age, as I've been for 30, 40 years, intensely involved with it. I love it. You know, I'm one of the people who founded the hippie movement in Australia. You know, and I've studied metaphysics and spirituality all my life since then. And I know the most incredible techniques for manifesting, changing reality, working, you know, creating success, all sorts of stuff. And having all that knowledge and 8 years of living human design, I say to you really directly, you don't want to rush it, but you do want a framework within which you can explore human design in your own unique, magical, incredible, wonderful way. You want a framework. You want somewhere where you can enjoy every moment of it, not hurry it up, because the place you're getting to is enjoying your life and really realizing what an incredible gift this is. And that's done one moment, one day at a time.
I think this course gives you a safe environment. You know, I've got a 3.5-year-old, and I'm in no way in a hurry for her to turn 5. And I'm just really enjoying the process. When she was 1, I didn't want her to be rushing off to be acting like a 2-year-old. I just accept that she's 1, and she's, you know, I wanted to enjoy being 1 to the fullest, and 2 to the fullest, and 3 to the fullest, and, you know, at every stage in her life. So you get to a point where you get certain proficiencies, but you never arrive.
Yeah. And seriously, I've watched Darryl and I've watched Virginia, his daughter, and not his partner, just grow and evolve in their own unique ways. And Virginia particularly changing so quickly, you know, from, I knew her when she was 2, now she's 3.5, and it's just, oh my God, she's having conversations. And, you know, it's really helped me for the first time in my life really appreciate, because I haven't had children of my own, although I've just inherited a couple, and that's incredible, you know. But I'm watching a little girl grow and seeing the incredible beauty and wonder that a parent experiences in that. And, you know, in terms of your higher self or greater self or whatever you want to do, they're going to enjoy your real self, your true self. They're going to enjoy every step of the experience. You know, we in our own minds tend to judge ourselves and our experience. One of my greatest teachers, a friend of mine, was talking to them, and they said, oh, my friend said to them, oh, we speak so much drivel, you know, as human beings, you know, sometimes. And my teacher said back to them, that's why you're you and you're not us. Right. And they're not even human, you know, so take that for what it's worth. But they said, because we find what you call drivel fascinating. And I've seen them working with people and teaching and helping and being a friend to people. And it's so true. You know, what we go, oh God, someone else is bringing this up. They will find it not only fascinating and call it for what it is, but turn it into something so revealing, you know, that person feels utterly safe being vulnerable with them, unless they're being manipulative, in which case they call it for what it is. And this is the beauty of living your life as it is now, whether it's incredibly successful or really difficult or somewhere in between. You know, that human design is like that. When you experience the energy, the living of your design, not just the information, but the energy behind it and the reality it opens up to you. Human design is like that. You can learn to enjoy being vulnerable to not only your weaknesses, but vulnerable to your strengths, which takes a lot more strength, a lot more courage to do. It opens you up so that you can be open to, healing your weaknesses or dealing with your weaknesses, but it opens you to your strengths, and gives you the courage and the insight and the ability to live with those strengths, you know, to really own them and not to shy away and be less than who you truly are, you know, not to hide your magnificence. You know, so human design is really great for that, especially when it comes to living it in the real world, in the physical world, not just living it in the spiritual or in the world of imagination, which is brilliant. I spend a lot of time there, but this enables me to live it in the real world. Okay,
good.
So
hope we see you on online somewhere sometime.
Yeah. But, you know, if it's right for you, I mean, seriously, if it's right for you, it would be our honor to work with you. You done, Carissa?
Yes, I popped up the link in the chat.
Okay. Great. Well,
thanks for signing in, everybody, and thanks for taking your time to look at this.
Yeah,
we appreciate that. You know, your time's valuable, and for taking this time to invest in your future. We look forward to serving you in any way we can.
Great. As they say in Thailand, Swadee Ka. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.